So, one time while riding on a plane, I asked the man sitting next to me if Will Smith was right to hit Chris Rock. His answer still baffles me to this day. Just like I had to sit through his odd rant about a movie I'd never heard of, I think you should too. So here's what this odd man told me. When violence breaks out, it is never a good thing. But the positive here is that Will Smith used an open hand. This was a very strategically planned strike. In the movie Hard Life Home, all strikes committed are open-hand slaps. This makes most of the simulated violence in HLH more insulting to the victim. Hard Life Home is a movie about a recently paroled bisexual neo-Nazi named Bradley. Bradley continues to shave his head due to his struggle with alopecia. After returning home from prison, he learns that his sister has been dating another bisexual man named Clint. At this point, Bradley is still in the closet and becomes enraged at Clint's mere presence. Once he learns that his sister Clint and a Japanese man have actually been dating in a three-way relationship, Bradley has a mental breakdown and passes out. When he wakes up, he open-handedly slaps his sister and both of her boyfriends to the point they are all bleeding. After the altercation, Bradley's girlfriend Jessica tells Bradley a dark secret that she has kept from him for years. She was once not only a man, but she was born in Tokyo, thus also making her Japanese. While at first he begins to slap her with an open hand, he begins to relent. After learning of her struggles, he seemingly has a change of heart. Bradley decides to explain to her that he too has become bisexual. He then confesses to her that he has feelings for Clint, and that they have been having an affair. After learning of the affair, Jessica kills Bradley and Clint by tying them up and slapping them to death after coercing them into a three-way sex act. After Bradley's sister finds out about the double murder, she loses herself in her own violent tendencies. She then is shot and killed by her Japanese boyfriend that just so happens to be a police officer. At the time of the shooting, Bradley's sister was attempting to rob a bank by slapping every employee with an open hand until they gave her money. Jessica arrives on the scene with a vial of Bradley's blood and injects the Japanese police officer with Bradley's blood. This ends up giving him alopecia. He ends up dying 20 minutes after his injection. It's not clear why he has metal shavings around his face or why his eyes turned blue. I personally assume that this was left out for the sake of long-term storytelling. So, Jessica then rides off into the sunset with Kyle, who happens to be this aquarium enthusiast with a bit of a bad boy side. While they're on the run, Jessica figures out that Kyle's been hiding a stolen nuclear warhead in the trunk of his Honda Civic. Yeah, you heard that right, a nuclear warhead. Fearing they'd get caught with it, mostly because of the missile's guiding system, she starts thinking fast and cooks up a plan to ditch Kyle and, well, sell the warhead on the black market. When they finally pull into a gas station, Jessica sneaks 4 unpaid-for bags of beef jerky into Kyle's back pocket without him even noticing. Next thing you know, the clerk at the gas station confronts Kyle. And since Kyle's got that reputation for being a bad boy, he goes ahead and attacks the clerk. But, things really don't go well for him because the clerk actually ends up breaking Kyle's neck and then hides the body behind the counter until his shift is over. Wild, right? So, Jessica ends up driving off with the warhead after calling her friend Ted. Ted offers to purchase the warhead off Jessica for $600 in cash. He's like somewhat confused about what he's actually going to do with the warhead, but, you know, he figures it's got to be worth quite a bit of money someday. Just as Jessica goes to leave, Ted realizes he made a mistake. He gave her $700 instead. Jessica noticed the extra cash and just drove off before Ted could get his $100 back. A furious Ted then calls his buddy Sam to track down and kill Jessica, offering Sam $45 of the money stolen as a reward. With stakes this high, Sam is literally the only contract killer Ted could trust, even if Sam is still recovering from an addiction to pornography. After Ted gets off the phone, he finds a syringe full of black liquid that Jessica had left behind. Unbeknownst to Ted that it's actually a syringe of Bradley's blood, he shoots it up, thinking it's black tar heroin. The blood is darker because Bradley suffers from alopecia. Ted doesn't die from the injection though, but he does become like super disoriented. Ted tries to steal a semi-truck but ends up getting dragged to his death for over 70+ miles. Meanwhile, Sam ends up catching up to Jessica later that night. He then rams her car, flipping it over. Just as she's, accepted her fate and Sam was about to kill her, Bradley and Clint arrive. Turns out they hadn't died after all. The two had actually used her as a decoy to get Kyle's nuclear warhead. Clint kills Sam, and then, crucifies his body in the middle of a nearby high school football field. The two, still angry at Jessica for what she did to them, discuss what they should do with her. Bradley ultimately decides she deserves to die for lying to him about being Japanese. The two then open-handedly slap her to death. After her death, they realize that they forgot to get the location of the warhead. Just as they're talking about their plan to look for it, the semi dragging Ted's dead body speeds past them. The two then realize that she had sold the warhead to Ted. Just as they look at each other, the credits roll. That movie set off the start of the Hard Life Home universe, or the HLHU as, like, a lot of followers of the series call it today. As I sat there, all I could think was, what in the hell did any of that have to do with Chris Rock and Will Smith?